I'm Ariann.
I'm Trexie.
And I'm Rowejoy.
And today, we will talk about computer specifications and compatibility. But first, what is specification? Computer specification is a detailed description of the technical features and capabilities of a hardware or software component. It includes information such as the processor type and speed, amount of the RAM, storage capacity, graphics card, display resolution, and other relevant details. For hardware components, specifications are important because they help users determine whether a particular component is compatible with their system and whether it meets their performance requirements. For software, specifications help users understand the system, requirement, and compatibility with their operating system. In summary, specifications are essential in the computer industry as they provide a standardized way of describing the capabilities and features of computer components, which help users make informed decisions when purchasing or using computer hardware and software. This is an example of a computer specification where it shows the processor, installed RAM, system type, and more details. What are the different specifications of computer parts?
What are the different specifications of computer parts? Well, these are the different specifications of computer parts. Number 1. Motherboard. It is the main circuit board of a computer that connects and controls all the other components. Number 2. Processor speed. This refers to the clock speed of the CPU or Central Processing Unit and is measured in GHz, gigahertz. A higher clock speed means the CPU can process instructions faster. RAM, or Random Access Memory, is the temporary memory module that the computer uses to store data that it's currently working on. The amount of RAM is measured in GB or gigabytes, and a higher amount of RAM means the computer can handle more tasks at once. Number 4. Storage capacity. This refers to the amount of space available to store files, documents, and applications. It's measured in gigabytes or terabytes and can be either a hard drive or a solid-state drive or an SSD. Number 5. Graphics card. This is responsible for rendering images and videos on computer screen. A dedicated graphics card can handle more complex graphics and it's important for gaming or video editing.
What are the speed units used in different computer parts? The clock speed measures the number of cycles your CPU executes per second. It is measured in gigahertz. In this case, a cycle is the basic unit that measures a CPU speed. During each cycle, billions of transistors within the processor open and close. What are the capacity units used in different computer parts? Bits and bytes are the basic building blocks of memory. Bit stands for binary digit. A bit is a 1 or a 0, on or off, which is how all computer information is stored. A byte is made up of 8 bits. 8 bits or a byte was the original amount of information needed to encode a character of text. The number was later standardized as computer hardware changed. For technical reasons, computer memory capacity is expressed in multiples of a power of 2. The metric prefixes were then applied to those multiples to provide an easy way to express the very large numbers of bits and bytes. What are the specifications for an office computer? When it comes to office computers, the specifications are generally designed to meet the needs of typical office tasks such as word processing, spreadsheet management, email, and web browsing. The processor is an important component of any computer, and for an office computer, a mid-range processor such as an Intel Core i5 or i7 is usually sufficient. These processors provide enough power to handle multiple applications running simultaneously without slowing down the computer. For operating system, Microsoft Windows 10 Professional x64 is recommended to use. In terms of memory, at least 16GB of RAM is recommended for an office computer. This allows for smooth multitasking and ensures that the computer can handle running multiple applications at once without slowing down. For storage, a hard disk drive with at least 1TB or a solid-state drive with 512GB of storage is typically sufficient for an office computer. This provides enough space to store documents, spreadsheets, and other files without running out of space too quickly. For monitor or display, a 24 inches LCD monitor is highly recommended.
And for others, some may need webcam, lock, and external drive for backups.
Integrated graphics are usually sufficient for an office computer, as they can handle basic tasks such as video playback and web browsing. However, if the computer will be used for more graphics-intensive tasks such as video editing or gaming, then a dedicated graphics card may be necessary. Other features that are commonly found on office computers included a DVD drive, multiple USB ports, and a built-in Ethernet port for internet connectivity. These features can be useful for tasks such as installing software, transferring files, and connecting to a wired network.
When it comes to gaming, having a powerful CPU is important because it helps to ensure that your computer can handle the demands of running games smoothly. A high-end CPU will have multiple cores and a high clock speed, which allows it to process information quickly and effectively. Intel Core i7-9700K is designed for gaming computers. A dedicated graphics card is also essential for gaming, as it is responsible for rendering the graphics in games. A high-end graphics card will have a lot of VRAM and a high clock speed, which allows it to handle complex graphics and render them quickly. GeForce RTX 4090 is designed and recommended for gaming computers. RAM is also important for gaming, as it allows your computer to store and access data quickly. A high-end gaming computer will typically have at least 16GB of RAM, although some may have even more. Finally, fast storage is important for gaming because it allows games to load quickly and reduces load times. An SSD with at least 2TB of available space is typically the best choice for gaming, as it is much faster than a traditional hard drive. Overall, a high-end gaming computer will have a powerful CPU, a dedicated graphics card, plenty of RAM, and fast storage such as an SSD.
When it comes to rendering computer, here are the specifications needed. CPU. A rendering computer should have a high-end CPU with multiple cores and threads. The more cores and threads a CPU has, the faster it can render complex scenes. Intel Core i9 or AMD Ryzen Threadripper are good options. GPU. A powerful GPU is essential for rendering. A dedicated GPU with a lot of VRAM will help speed up the rendering process. NVIDIA GeForce RTX or AMD Radeon RX are good options. RAM or RAM. A rendering computer should have at least 16GB of RAM, but more is better. The more RAM a computer has, the more data it can store in memory, which can speed up the rendering process. Storage. A rendering computer should have fast storage such as an SSD with at least 50GB of storage or an HDD with at least 2TB of storage. This will help speed up the loading and saving of large files, which is important when working with complex scenes. In addition to these hardware specifications, it's also important to have a good monitor with accurate color reproduction and high resolution, as well as a reliable power supply and cooling system to to help the components running smoothly.
In building a gaming computer, the cost of building a gaming computer can vary depending on the specific components and specifications you want for your computer. A basic gaming computer can cost around 30,000 to 50,000 pesos. This type of computer can handle most games at medium to high settings but may struggle with more demanding games or newer releases. On the other hand, a high-end gaming computer can cost 100,000 pesos or more. This type of computer is designed to handle the most demanding games at the highest settings and can be also used for other resource-intensive tasks such as video editing or 3D rendering. Some of the key components that can affect the cost of a gaming computer include the processor, graphics card, RAM, storage, and power supply. It is important to do your research and choose components that are compatible with each other and meet your specific needs and budget. How can I tell that a computer part is compatible with motherboard? When checking for compatibility between a computer part and a motherboard, it is important to consider the following factors. 1. Socket type. The socket type of the motherboard must match the socket type of the computer part. For example, if you are looking to install a new CPU, you need to make sure that the CPU is designed for the same socket type as the motherboard. 2. Power requirements. The computer part must be compatible with the power supply unit or PSU of the system. Make sure that the PSU can provide enough power to the computer part. 3. Chipset support. The motherboard's chipset must support the computer part. For example, if you're looking to install a new graphics card, you must need to make sure that the motherboard's chipset supports the graphics card. Lastly, number 4. Form factor. The computer part must be compatible with the form factor of the motherboard. For example, if you are looking to install a new RAM or random access module, you need to make sure that the RAM module is designed for the same form factor as the motherboard. To check the compatibility, you can refer to the motherboard's manual or specification sheet and compare them with the specifications of the computer part. You can also use online compatibility checkers or consult with a computer hardware expert. When selecting computer specifications, it is important to consider the intended use of the computer. For example, if a user plans to use their computer for gaming or video editing, they may need a higher-end processor and graphics card to ensure optimal performance. On the other hand, if a user only plans to use their computer for basic tasks such as web browsing and word processing, they may not need as high-end specifications. In conclusion, computer specifications play a crucial role in determining the compatibility of hardware and software components. It is important to select specifications that are compatible with each other and that meet the user's need for optimal performance.
That's all for today's video. I hope you all learned something new and that this video will be of use to you all one day. Bye!